DANE FIFE reveals juicy secrets from within the Indiana basketball program. What happened there with Mike Woodson? We all want to know. He went on the radio and exposed it all. Let's get into it.
Pretty simple. I win.
For three on the way.
Hello, guys, and welcome back to Indiana Sports Connection. I am your residential anchor, Aaron. Thank you so much for being here and being part of this community. So today we got a great episode for you. And I know I say that about every episode, but today's episode is particularly juicy because DANE FIFE, that spent 7-8 months at Indiana University, he goes on the radio with Dan Dakich and reveals some things. What did he call Mike Woodson on there? We're all going to find out in this episode today. But first, hit that subscribe button down below. This is Indiana Sports Connection. If it's your first time here, thank you for being here. If you're a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you for returning. I appreciate it more than you know. This video, when it gets to 2,300, I think I'm at 99 right now. So leave a comment down below and you will be entered to win a shirt from Rally House. I have a giveaway coming up on the next video. So leave that comment down below. I will pick one of the comments that will win an Indiana t-shirt of your liking. And the video is brought to you by BetUS. Use my promo code Indiana125 to save 125% on your first 3 deposit. Count it. 1, 2, 3, and the Super Bowl is coming up, so place your bets on that. And 10% of the AdSense revenue on this channel goes to T2T.org. Without the veterans, we are nothing. And if you could do me a quick favor and hit that thumbs up button, let's pump this video out to fans everywhere. I heard this on the radio, so I know it's limited, but we're going to talk about the main things he said on there, DANE FIFE. So let's pump this out because this is great information to be known. If you're a Hoosier fan, you want to know what happened with DANE FIFE when he left there and why Mike Woodson's been lying to us for all this time. Without further ado, let's get into talking about the Indiana. Yes! Alrighty, Hillbilly Monkey. This was a great listen. I gotta admit, it was really great. A great listen. What did you think?
Well, I love DANE FIFE. I mean, he was a feisty player, and everybody loved this guy. And one thing revealed in here that Mike Woodson didn't even know who he is. I mean, just shame on you if that's what you're thinking.
It is. Some of the stuff that he's gonna say in here is very. I don't know. Let's just get into talking about the first clip. He kind of talks about the team right now and what is going on with this team right now and why they suck so bad and they just can't ever get over the hump Everest, which is Mike Woodson laying in our way to be a good basketball program. Hillbilly Monkey, what does DANE FIFE think about the team right now? Roll it.
Indiana's got to start hanging their hat on something. What are we good at?
Nah.
What are we good at?
Nah.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I'd like to think we're good at being tall. We've got some big guys, Balo, Renew, Mbako. I think we've really got to put a focus on what we want to be good at. And you can't have, you can't be all across the blue. We want to be good at everything. You got to pick 2 or 3. And that's what Izzo's best at, and Knight is best at. And really just focusing on having the discipline within those 2 or 3 things, and you do it every day.
Yeah, you got to pick 2 or 3 things and just be good at it. I'd be fine if this team was just good at, rebounding and showed some effort in some different categories. Now, they've rebounded better lately, but if you're not consistently, like he said, pushing 2 or 3 things, this is a travesty that this guy left Indiana after 7 months. I mean, it shows Mike Woodson just cannot work with somebody who's smarter than him. And that is a big problem for somebody in his position because he's an NBA guy that doesn't know shit about college basketball. And that's what we're going to talk on this next clip. Why do they suck so bad? Why was there so much indecision? Well, I mean, facts are facts in college basketball. Facts are facts. And when you were under Izzo for that long, 10 years under Izzo, and he was a head coach at IPFW, you learned some things about college basketball. Do you not? You'd think he would have taken But Hillbilly Monkey, let's roll this clip, and then we will talk about what Dane Fife said. Roll it.
But why is it, this team's a mess, Dane? I mean, it's a complete mess. I mean, you saw it at the end of the game. Why is that? Take me through that.
Well, I think the 6 or 7 months, or maybe 8 months that I spent with the coach Coach Woodson. I think what he really wants to pride himself on is the defending aspects. But I think one of the translation issues was this fact that we were making so many adjustments based on the opinion of an NBA coach, as opposed to what works in college. And but I'd say that Coach Woodson would like to pride himself on defense, on the defensive aspect.
Yeah.
Right now in the Big Ten, they're giving up 80 points a game. That's so if we're hanging our hat on defense, then that's what we got to do every day. Forget the offense. They're scoring plenty of points on offense. We can't really try to outscore people if we're trying to focus on defense. I don't know what that means. I mean, defense is pretty broad. Can we stop the ball screen? We're giving up 13 offensive rebounds a game with a 47% field goal percentage. That's not good. I mean,
no, that's not very good. No, that's not.
Yeah, there you go. You're making adjustments based on an NBA guy's opinion. 4 years of sucking. I mean, I was thinking of this during this. I'm like, would we have been better off watching Archie Miller bang his head against the wall for 8 years? I think we would have. I mean, in some ways, they'd rather go down this avenue of train wreckery that we've found ourselves on. We are a train that's gone way off the tracks. I mean, we got a coach out there saying like, this guy's a good leader and this guy's a good leader. He's out at a casino. This guy's freaking drunk, gets pushed out, doesn't play in the Winthrop game. And you're saying their leadership is no. I mean, then you obviously have no freaking clue what it looks like to be a good leader. This next clip, they talk about why there's no pride at Indiana. And that part is just, it sucks. It sucks for us fans. We expect a certain something, We expect a certain amount of grit, determination, desire. That's Indiana basketball. And we ain't getting it. Hillbilly Monkey, let's roll that clip.
Outfit, why is that? Why is there no pride? Why do they never talk about winning or toughness? That's never talked about. What's going on here?
Well, I think you've got to make sure you recruit to.
Yeah.
I like to say you recruit to your personality, and that's kind of what's happened. If Indiana's recruiting to the head coach's personality.
Was that dull, lazy, cigar smoking?
I'd say
wine drinking?
Just a little melancholy.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they have to play that way. I think it is an overall culture and lifestyle that you have to live every day. And one thing I learned with Izzo and playing for Coach Knight, you certainly seem that way, is you got to have an attitude that is throughout your program, and you have to live it every day. And like I said, I'm just not sure what Indiana's hanging their hat on. Is it toughness? No. Is it defending? Not really. Is it rebounding? In fairness, trying to put a team together, I get it, but it's just I'm just not seeing a mentality right now that as former players, who knows? Maybe you and I need to go in and have a talk with the team and just tell them what it means to be an Indiana Hoosier.
Yeah, okay. He didn't even know Woodson didn't even know you were an Indiana Hoosier. He didn't even know who you were.
I question that for sure. But
Dane Fife is coming with the jokes.
A little melancholy.
There you go. Recruits to his personality. An old alcoholic, an old narcissistic alcoholic who's melancholy.
Oh my God.
It's like, it is so freaking hilarious. It's so bad that you almost have to laugh at this point. It's so bad for Indiana basketball. You just got to laugh. When you get these morsels of things from the inside, it's unfucking believable. It really is. You listen to this and you're like, this dude had over 10 years experience coaching in college. You give this guy at his disposal. It wasn't just Dane Fife, it was Thad Matta too. He got Thad Matta was like out of there from the beginning. He didn't even know his name when he coached there. You cannot be any more of just an asshole to somebody by doing that to him. I mean, you're going to call somebody Dan Fife? Come on. This next clip, they talk a little bit about Jeff Rabjohns and the piece they put out on him and how that really affected his family. And I did pull up that Jeff Rabjohns article, and it was scathing against Dane Fife. Who got fed that information from the inside? Somebody got fed that information from the inside to say that he was like a Trumper or he was this or he was that. Who gives a flying fuck? Aren't we just here to play basketball? God damn, it's like this dude's got knowledge about college basketball. Pick his brain, take it for what it's worth, and make him feel valuable as an assistant coach and just go on with your freaking day, right? God, it doesn't seem that hard, but it seems to be very hard for somebody like Mike Woodson, doesn't it? In this next clip, they talk about what it's like to play for Indiana. And I've always loved this about watching Indiana. It's like watching guys go to war. It's like let's just hear what they have to say about it because it's very great. Hillbilly Monkey, let's roll it.
They don't seem to need that kind of time. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I like the Dan Campbell speech, a bite in the kneecaps.
Yeah.
I mean, I just always felt like when you play for Indiana, you're going to war. I mean, with all due respect to real war, it's college war in college. You cross those lines, man, you're in a different mindset, a different mentality. You fear, you hate, you're determined. You have all these emotions, but all of it goes back to being centered around playing for Indiana and winning and doing the right things. And that's the whole thing, man. Is the struggle is do these guys understand what it means to do the right things relative to Indiana basketball?
This is an old team, right? I mean, this isn't a young.
Yeah, and that's culture right there. I mean, you got to let everybody know you're going to do what's right for Indiana basketball. And you know what, Trey Galloway, if you're at the casino, I don't give a shit who you are. I would have been like, look, there's the door right there. You want to come back here for a fifth year? And I mean, Mike Woodson, it's like you're coaching for your job. This guy goes out to the casino during that at 2 a.m. There had to be a huge distraction for the team why they got their asses blown away. Maybe he doesn't see that, but everybody else does. I would have been like, look, there's the door. I mean, pack your shit, and there you go. I mean, read anything about Bob Knight, and maybe he's not always right. I know, Bob Knight's not always right, but that's how he did it. It's like, dude, you wanted to go to a casino? Guess what? You're going to be able to go to a casino every night from now on because there's the fucking door. And don't let it hit you on the ass on the way out, okay? And that sends a message to everybody else. And any of you other motherfuckers, if you want to go out tonight, there's the door. We'll play with Nate Childress. Let's let Nate Childress shoot like 23s. This last clip, he asked him about, will there be a new coach? Will they bring somebody else in? And let's just see what Dane Fife has to say about it. Hillbilly Monkey, let's roll that clip.
Will there be a new guy? Will there be a new guy?
I think it's very possible.
Yeah.
I think 4 years and the struggle and knowing what I know, yes, it's very possible.
Share what you know. Come on, Dane. I don't know nothing, man. I'm persona non grata. I'm too, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bad guy.
Yeah,
that's
that might be for the unauthorized book. Maybe Todd Jadlow style.
Jadlow's pissed.
I'll never write it.
No, I'll never write it. People always ask me.
I don't think I'd ever share what went on during my time. But I think people right now are smart enough to read between the lines and recognize that, okay, well, this guy was a head coach talking about me, and he would coach for Izzo for 10 years. And then what would make him all of a sudden turn into a really crappy coach,
right,
or a guy that's doing things like, I don't know, like I was a Trumper. Back then you couldn't be a Trumper or talking politics or whatever Rabjohns made up about. It was the silliest stuff. And for me to have to sit there and be quiet, because it was the smartest thing to do, because on principle, I would have ran my mouth and tried to defend myself. But in today's world, you just can't. And so for me to have to, it was one of the toughest things I've ever had to do, to not defend myself and my family. I mean, because my family was going through this right there with me. But like I said before I got right when I got to Indiana, I was hired there. I said, look, this may not work out, and if it doesn't, I'm going to stay in Bloomington and live off the land. So that's what I guess I'm doing.
Yeah, that was a really idiotic thing Rabjohns did.
But yeah, there he talks about the Jeff Rabjohns hit piece on him, and I actually found that on Reddit, and I think I'm going to post it on the bottom of this video. But I do want to read just one paragraph from, like, where did this shit come from? This shit came from somebody within the program that fed this to Jeff Rabjohns as a fact so that they could justify the firing. This is sinister, freaking stupid ass bullshit that goes on at Indiana University. Like, you can just fire a guy and say whatever, but nope, they had to go the extra mile and say, telling college players what they should think politically, being asked to keep politics out of the office, telling people what you're going to say whenever, want to whomever, and about politics, being asked repeatedly to stop bothering the players with politics. I mean, I don't see that. Like, he was at Michigan State for 10 years and never had a problem there. And I don't think he was there pushing politics onto people. I mean, who's talking about politics at a basketball event? Maybe they just got the sense that's how these things go down. People get the sense that you're something, and boy, they just want to get you fired, don't they? And that's what happened here. I mean, I'm just going to say it. It was a DEI hire. Oh, this was a fire him because for whatever reason. It was a fire him because I don't want to say it on here because I don't want to get my video flagged by YouTube. I mean, but yeah, where that came from Jeff Rabjohns. Here is something else like about DANE FIFE that I do think is very important, is that he was offered the coach in waiting job. He was offered that by Dolson from the beginning. He should have taken it, and then maybe they would have fired Mike Woodson. Maybe not, but it's like, but he didn't do it because he didn't want to do that to Mike Woodson. I mean, he just knew structurally that was not going to be a good thing, and that wouldn't maybe be a good thing. Now we know how much of a big baby Mike Woodson is. God, it's hard to watch what's happened to Indiana basketball, and we get these morsels from the inside out, and I'm sure there are people leave comments on this video that say, "You're the problem. The fans are the problem." Well, they're not the problem. We're always going to be here. We're going to be here for a lifetime, and this coach is going to be gone after this year. So, I will remember you. Will you remember me? So let your heart pass you by. I'm going to tell you, Mike Woodson, I'm not going to remember you. Not one thing you've done here was good. I'm sorry. You tried to cover everything up, all of your laziness and your alcoholism and your bullshit. You try to cover it up by having this freaking huge fucking chip in your brain that's like preventing us from being good. And you're standing in the way. Not only him, Buckner, Ferguson, they're all sitting there. They all ushered this in. This is what they wanted, their buddy, to be in charge so they could pull the strings from behind the scenes and get their own little way like a couple of rich little babies, okay? Boy, it's entertaining the least. I mean, I feel like this last 4 years, we could make like a Broadway musical out of the Indiana basketball program. We're going to write this. We're going to take it all the way to New York City, because there has been drama abound, and we don't want there to be drama abound. We want there to be winning, good culture, guys that play hard, coach that holds people accountable and comes out in the press conference and tells us that, tells us, yeah, This guy, he got benched because he went out to the casino. If there's anybody else that goes out to the casino like that, then you're all going to be benched. And, we'll just bring in some new guys. That's what we want. But he doesn't see that. He's buddying up with these players like just a bullshit artist. So, Hillbilly Monkey, give me your quick thoughts, and then we will get these people the hell out of here. What did you think about FIFE?
Carved from the sands of the Wabash River and formed into a monkey lamp that's sold at Home Goods. It's the Hillbilly Monkey Perspective on Indiana Sports Connection.
Well, I mean, I am an old timer, but, I always loved DANE FIFE because he was so feisty, and he was just one of those guys that you could tell Bob Knight really loved the way that he played, the attitude that he brought to the table, his defensive effort. You can see after he left, the defense for Indiana basketball went way down the tubes. And like he talked about in this interview, if you're listening to the whole thing, he thought Mike Woodson, he was trying to get an idea of what this guy wanted as a coach. And I don't think he can really get a good idea because he's all over the place and he don't know what the hell he's doing. And he didn't from the very beginning, and he shouldn't have been hired, and he shouldn't have been here because he don't know what the fuck he's doing, and he wasted 4 years of our fucking life.
Damn, you pissed that monkey off. It's a crying shame. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. Until next time, stay classy out there, Hoosier fans.